The God that Jeran says he believes in is far worse, way worse than the God of the Bible. And the God of the Bible, he says, isn't even real. So it's man that wrote the Bible. Man has created all these atrocities. And the God he believes in, who he says there's this other creator who's never visited us, right? Never came and manifested himself on the earth so he could live like a man and understand what we're going through. Never taught us right from wrong and what's good and the way we should live. He's responsible for this mess. And Jeran says he can't believe in the God of the Bible because he's so horrible, where the God he's saying he does believe in is way worse. Do you get that? Not only did he create this mess and allow this mess to go on, he never visited and never taught us right from wrong, never gave us the 10 Commandments, never summed it up like Jesus did, and to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and treat others the way you want to be treated. This is the law and the prophets, Jesus said. This is it in a nutshell. Your God didn't do anything, Jeran. He's absentee. He's a deadbeat dad. He's garbage. And that's what you believe in, and that's what you're pushing. Interesting. You know, a few months back, I tuned into a Jeranism live broadcast. I tuned into a couple of them. One I saw was the Jim Bob one, where I think it's number 51, not sure. And the other one was with Dave, allegedly Dave or whatever. These were the most disgusting shows I've ever seen. I couldn't even stand to watch them. This is like, they were like two monkeys hurling feces all over the wall. There's no talking to these guys. They're complete idiots. Jeran just bashing the God of the Bible mercilessly, relentlessly. And then you have allegedly Dave who drinks piss and he says, it's in the Bible. Really? So is eating your own dung, Dave. Do you do that? Just real quick. The Bible, God is not condoning or advocating that that's what we do. These were people that were up on the wall of the city, apparently stranded or whatever, and this is all they could do is drink their pee and eat their dung. They had no food or water. The Bible records everything. When you read through all these books that Jeran cherry picks through in the Old Testament, books that nobody wants to go read, so he gish gallops, right? He throws in all these points one after another, where he just does a cursory reading, picks a few verses, and then puts this out like, aha, I got you. It's gotcha God time, So allegedly Dave, he says, it's in the Bible to drink piss. Stupid. Oh, so the Bible always says there was a recorder. There was someone there who was a recorder. Very professional. They recorded. They had somebody there like a stenographer, taking, or a court reporter or a, whoever to record what was going on. So they had that. And so they recorded everything. Jeran went through, he tried to blame God because Solomon had, 700 wives? Something like that. I don't have it in front of me, but and he's trying to blame that on God. We're over and over, starting right in Genesis. It's one man and one woman. Marriage is between a husband and a wife. Over and over, all through the scriptures. You can look up, there's like things I saw, 17 verses that say one man, one woman in marriage, or another one said 20 verses. Jeran is deceiving you. He's not doing due diligence. He doesn't care to look into it. He is purposely deceiving. Okay? So this has been on my mind for a few months. I haven't had the time or, to put into making a video. And I've made a couple videos, as you've seen. Another one, for instance, was the, streets of gold, yeah! And he goes on to say how stupid God is. Yeah, this is written by man, he says. It's written by man. So he's always trying to say, in that one he's saying, God is trying to entice people into heaven by money. And as I've said, that goes against God's character. He already said a love of money is the root of all evil. So why would God entice you to heaven, or even the men that wrote the Bible, Jeran? Why would they, unless they made a huge mistake, they're not consistent, right? Why would all of a sudden the same God who said the love of money is the root of all evil, and Jesus said you can't love God and money because you're going to love one and hate the other, or vice versa. So no, Jeran, You're cherry picking stuff, and you read that in Revelation. Revelation. You didn't read it, actually. I'm sorry. You said, "I heard people say." That's what it was. People say. If you'd read it yourself, even if you go to a faulty translation other than the King James, even if it tries to say the streets were pure as clear glass. So how they're trying to mistranslate it is they're trying to say that it's pure gold, like how pure clear glass is. There's nothing foggy. There's no particles in there. So they're trying to make you think that it's saying that the gold was so pure. It was such a high grade gold. There was no foreign things mixed in to dilute it. It was the highest quality gold. You know what I mean? In carats, I don't know, 24 karat or whatever is the pure gold. That's what they're trying to say that the scripture says. But that's not what it says. That's Revelation 21:21. Which it's not. In the King James it says, "And the street was pure gold, comma, as it were transparent glass," or clear glass. Now, when you go to Revelation 21:18, the clearness is corroborated by it saying, "And the city, the entire city was clear, was pure gold, comma, like unto clear glass," or transparent glass. I don't have it in front of me right now, but you could look those up. Revelation 21:21, Revelation 21:18. That's where we get the vision of a New Jerusalem and what it is. So, no, Jeran. And I corrected you. Did you correct the issue with your followers? No, you didn't. You just still said, yeah, streets of gold. Yeah, there, come on to heaven. You got streets of gold. And you're making God out to be this pirate. No. You're a fraud. You're a liar. Okay? So anyway, there's so many. Like I said, you went through the Old Testament. Nobody wants to go read the Old Testament. This is why. And these books in particular, the Numbers and Leviticus, it's all about the laws, the punishment for breaking God's laws. It's about offerings, burnt offerings. I could go so far. I'll just touch on it briefly. The offerings that they had to do, it was God trying to keep people in line, trying to get people to do the right thing. He gave his 10 commandments, but they still broke them, right? He told you how to live. Thou shalt not kill or murder. Thou shalt not shall not lie, commit adultery, shall not covet, shall not bear false witness against somebody, on and on. I don't know all the 10 commandments. But I know that Jesus summed them up in love God. Who's God? God's the truth. Jesus said, "I am the way, I am the truth, and the life. I came to bear witness to the truth." Jesus always referred to himself as the truth. Okay? So Jesus summed up the whole law and prophets when he said, "You are to love your Lord your God," which is truth, right? That's God's a spirit, "with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength." And he's the creator. "And love others as you love yourself." This is the greatest teaching. Jesus just gave us a recipe for, I know I tangent, that's what I do, but I'll try to get back. Jesus said, love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love others as yourself. This is a recipe for heaven on earth. How so? And it's also the greatest consciousness teaching. I know a lot of people like to look at New Age stuff and Hinduism and Buddhism, and they try to be like, well, this is about consciousness, p-brane. No. Jesus gave us the greatest consciousness teaching ever. And it's this. Treat others the way you want to be treated. After you, of course, you love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And the reason he threw in the God part is because that's important. Because if you don't love God, you could be a Satanist. And you may like to cut yourself or do all kinds of weird stuff. And God doesn't want you doing that unto others. He wants you to do righteousness. Love righteousness and truth. Right? And honesty, and then treat others the way you want to be treated. So the reason it's the greatest consciousness raising teaching ever is what he's saying is, before you act that affects others, put yourself in their place to see how it affects them. So before you act, imagine you're them. Before you act towards somebody or do something that affects somebody, you put yourself in their shoes and you go, how would I feel if that were done to me? I mean, this is beautiful. This is a recipe for heaven on earth if we followed it, but we haven't followed it. This is why God put in the sacrifice system back in the days. Oh, so I was going to touch on that. Jaron likes to make fun. Oh, God, yeah, he needs 2 turtle doves, or he needs to burn this or that or kill. Listen, it was a way to try to get people to do the right thing. Remember, God gave us free will. So imagine your own pet that you love. And God says, if you break my law, you commit a crime, you lie, cheat, or steal, or you murder somebody or whatever, you're going to have to take your pet and bring him to the altar, and you're going to have to kill him. Is that not an incentive to do the right thing? Now remember, these people, they brought their sheep, and they couldn't just bring the lame dead one or the dying one. They had to bring the best. And these people had relationships with their animals. Animals are awesome. Nobody wants to kill an animal just for the sake of killing him. But God put that in place because they were so bad. Okay, so I've laid a little groundwork, and obviously you can see I'm a little fired up with this Jeran. What he's doing is just sickening. Okay, and I'm going to show you that he's a fraud. He's a liar. Now, he'll claim that he believes in a God, a creator, just not the one in the Bible. Okay, and then he shows you all this gish-galloping through these books that nobody wants to read to try to verify what he said, and he makes God sound horrible, but when you get the backstory, you see God didn't make, just like God didn't make those people drink their pee and eat their dung, he's just recording it. He didn't tell Solomon to have 700 wives or okay it. Solomon went against God. And God told him not to. You don't go after these people. They have strange gods and you're going to turn away from me. And that's what Solomon did. The richest man in the world, God made rich because he wanted nobody richer than him because he was righteous and he wanted him to rule. So anyway, I'm going to go through some of the things he brought up because every one of them that he says, every single one Jeran brings up, he's like a moron. A monkey just starts flinging crap, flinging his dung all over the place, has no idea, doesn't look into it, doesn't care to look into it because I believe he's an agent for Satan, and Satan's children. He's doing the dirty work, one of them. He's a gatekeeper. Okay, now I tangented again, and I forgot where I'm at. Okay, so here's the point. This is awesome. I've been thinking about this, but Jeran, when I say he's a liar and he says he believes in a creator, well, I believe he believes in Satan. Here's why. Jeran, if your God then is your creator is real and the God of the Bible is fake, then your God is responsible for all the mess on the earth, Jeran. Yeah, it's your God. And your God never visited the earth to even tell us how to live. Now, Jeran will say, we don't need the God of the Bible to tell us morality and tell us right from wrong. Well, clearly then your God didn't. He didn't bring us right from wrong. He didn't visit and have relationship with us like the God of the Bible has, and gave us the 10 Commandments, and then gave us, like I said, Jesus summed it up into love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and treat others the way you want to be treated. He didn't give us any of this. Your God's a monster, Jeran. Your God's a monster. He's allowed first of all, he put us on this death planet where everybody gets sick and die. And all of the murders, the lying, the cheating, the fake, the gaslighting, the fake reality that these demon Satanists are running around doing, your God's responsible. And he did nothing about it. The one that you believe, that you say you believe, which I'm calling you out right now, you're lying. You don't believe in a creator God. You believe in Satan. All right? Because think about it. What I'm saying is true. Jeran believes in a creator, just not the one in the Bible. So that means your creator God that you apparently say you believe in, he allowed this fake God of the Bible to mislead everybody. He allowed all of the murders and the horrific things, millions and millions of babies aborted, millions of people killed. Jeran's always talking about how horrible God is. Your God is the one responsible then, Jeran. If your God's real, so you're telling me you despise and don't believe that the one of the Bible is the real God, that's written by man, yet you believe in the God that's worse. He didn't even come and try to help us out and give us guidance on how to live. Never visited. At least the God of the Bible visited and manifested in the flesh and then gave his life for us, for sin, because the world is so wicked. And God wanted to, make creatures, us, that have the ability to discern between or decide between right and wrong, right? He didn't make robots. This is why animals are awesome, because God made, there's no guile. You know what guile is? There was one time when Jesus saw this, I think it was an Israelite. I forget where it is exactly, but he said, wow, look at this. An Israelite in which there's no guile. He was being sarcastic, like, wow, look at this. Whoa, unbelievable, because they're all so crooked. And he knew that, right? So your God allows all this. We all know you believe in a God that's way worse than even the God you represented in the Bible, because your God is the one who's allowed all this to happen and didn't give us any guidelines on not to do it. Because you say, oh, we know inside. Really? Well, look at the proofs in the pudding then. Look at how the Bible outlined all this horrific stuff. Did your God stop it? No. Our God, we're in a fallen world. Yeah, listen, to even try to argue with you, the problem with arguing with people, the Bible told us, yes, you are to preach the gospel and try to get people saved. On the other hand, it also says, don't cast your pearls before swine, lest they turn around and rent you. They're like animals, and they don't want to hear good and the truth. Love of money, root of all evil. I'm thinking you got a love of money, brother. And all I hear you talking about is money and gold and crypto. And so, and what did you even say? You said, and I don't think you're much of a truther if you don't support me. Wow. Let's make Jeran, you ever make America great again? Let's make Jeran work a job again. Yeah. Stop contributing to this guy. Make him work again. Make him flip some burgers. Anyway, I just thought of this point. I was like, wow, it's Jeran's God who's the monster. You get that? He doesn't. So you right there, he's lying. He doesn't. You don't know what he believes. He's a deceiver. He's just, his goal, his job is to get you to turn from the Bible. And there's a whole lot of other guys on YouTube. Somebody else came, Deborah E. came onto my channel, and she's telling me all about this guy, bullet holes in the Bible. Oh my God, another Satanist, another deceiver. You hear this guy talk, he's so monotone. Bah, 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 da, 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 da. God terrible, God horrible. They have no life in them. You notice that? There's no life in these guys. They're completely monotonic and dead from the neck up. You know what the Bible says? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. These guys aren't having their minds renewed. They're dumb as stumps. Jeran is a flippin' moron. And this other guy too. Absolute morons. Anyway, I'll do more. I could go on and on. I'm fired up. Jeran, your God's a monster. Let me just recap. The God that Jeran says he believes in is far worse, way worse than the God of the Bible. And the God of the Bible, he says, isn't even real. So it's man that wrote the Bible. Man has created all these atrocities. And the God he believes in, who he says there's this other creator who's never visited us, right? Never came and manifested himself on the earth so he could live like a man and understand what we're going through. Never taught us right from wrong and what's good and the way we should live. He's responsible for this mess. And Jeran says he can't believe in the God of the Bible because he's so horrible, where the God he's saying he does believe in is way worse. Do you get that? Not only did he create this mess and allow this mess to go on, he never visited and never taught us right from wrong, never gave us the 10 Commandments, never summed it up like Jesus did, and to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and treat others the way you want to be treated. This is the law and the prophets, Jesus said. This is it in a nutshell. Your God didn't do anything, Jeran. He's absentee. He's a deadbeat dad. He's garbage. And that's what you believe in, and that's what you're pushing. Interesting.